Hello everyone, my name is Raquel Herrera and today we're going to talk about our first hack. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, we're going to go back to our first lab and we're going to get the IP address for Qioptics so we can begin this lab. Okay, so now once you have located your IP address, we're going to go ahead and run an MSF console, which is the Metasploit. And once that is running, we're going to type under MSF6, we're going to do use auxiliary scanner CMB version. And of course, what this is going to give us is going to be the version of the CMB the Qioptics is running on. And then once you have that, you're going to set RS host and your IP address, which in this case for me, it was 192.168.56.102. And then once you put that in there, you're going to press run. And then once it's done, it's going to tell you the version of Samba. Okay, and then once we figure out which version of Samba Qioptics is running on, we're going to go ahead and open our Internet Explorer and copy the version, and it should prompt us to one of these websites. And then from this website, what we're going to do is going to click on where it says exploit, and we're going to click on the two brackets. Once we click on the exploit and the brackets, it should take us to this page right here. And what we're going to do is going to do Control A to highlight everything, and then Control C so we can copy it. Once you copy that, you're going to go back into your root Kali. Make sure that you do paste it on the root Kali and not under the Metasploit. Once you paste it and everything's fine, you should be able to do VI 10.C, and then it's going to prompt you to the next command, which is 10C. And then from there, it should take you to GCC 10.C-010. And here is going to tell you if you were successfully able to get into Qioptics. And here, as you can tell on this screenshot, it says that it worked. So that means that we're in. And then from here, we were asked to create a username for Qioptics. And how you're going to do that, you're going to type PWD, and then you're going to make sure that you're not in the temporary one. And now, once we know that we're not in the temporary template no more, you should be able to use this command to add a user. And you can either go by your first name or your last name. And how we're going to do that is going to be with the command -user-sbin-user add. And in this case, I use my last name. And then after you're done with that, you should be able to use the command password to change your password. So you're going to do password and then either your first name or your last name, whatever you use to create the user. And then after that, it should prompt you to change the password. And here, as you can see in this screenshot, I was able to successfully do a username and password for Qioptics. Okay, so now let's talk about the mitigation strategies and attack taxonomy. And this is going to be for C-suite security awareness training. First, let's talk about how attackers gain access. The first one that we have is by phishing and social engineering, tricking users into revealing credentials. Next, we have exploiting vulnerabilities, unpatched software or weak configurations. Next, we have privilege escalation, exploiting flaws to gain admin rights. And then we have backdoors and rootkits, maintaining hidden persistence. Next, let's talk about mitigation strategy without upgrades and replacements. First, we have principle of least privilege, restrict user rights. Next, we have patch management, apply timely software OS updates. Then we have application whitelisting, only allow approved programs. Next, we have intrusion detection and login, monitor suspicious activity. And then we have user training, which is awareness on phishing and social engineering. Okay, next we have buffer overflow. The definition of buffer overflow is attack that overrides memory by exceeding buffer limits. Summary, used to inject malicious code or crash systems. And the category of buffer overflow is exploitation attack on memory management. Then we have privilege escalation, which means exploiting flaws to gain higher system access. It is often used after initial compromise, and the category is access control attack. Next, we have rootkits, which means malicious software hiding attacker presence. It provides stealthy, persistent access, and the category is under malware persistence attack. Trojan's definition is malware disguised as legitimate software. It grants attacker unauthorized access, and the category is malware and delivery attack. Backdoors means hidden method of bypassing authentication, often planned by malware or insider threat, and the category is persistence and access attack. Next we have viruses. Definition is the self-replicating code that spreads to other files. It damages data, corrupts systems, spreads laterally, and then category is malware and propagation attack. Then we have ROP, which means return-oriented programming, which means code reuse attack chaining existing instructions. It executes malicious payload without injecting new code, and it's under the category of exploitation and then memory attack. And then we have the common social engineering attacks, which is phishing, deceptive emails or messages, spear phishing, which is a targeted phishing on executives, pretexting, impersonation to gain trust, baiting, offering something enticing to trick users, and then tailgating, physical intrusion using human trust. Key mitigation techniques will be strong authentication and MFA, and then we have roles-based access controls, regular vulnerability scanning, security awareness training, incident response readiness. And then last but not least, we have the training takeaways. Attacks evolve, but fundamentals stay the same. Awareness plus least privilege equals reduced attack surface. And then continuous monitoring is critical. C-suite leadership sets security tone. And then that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that this was very helpful for you. Thank you.